Well, hello there, everyone. This is Sith Lord 7, and today we're going to be trying to discuss why I think that Emperor Palpatine is probably alive in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and what has been one of the biggest Star Wars twists since Darth Vader pulled out his D card on Luke Skywalker on The Empire Strikes Back. D card is in the Daddy card. Now, Emperor Palpatine has been revealed to play a part in this drama that is Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. While some have speculated, that we'll be seeing Palpatine in the form of a Sith Force ghost or some type of recording, I have reason to suspect he'll actually be alive in the film. That's right, everybody. Old Papa Palpatine is somehow back in the land of the living, or somehow he never died in the very beginning. Now, believe it or not, though, there's plenty of canon material and things we know about the character to support that somehow he is alive. Now, we might as well start getting used to the idea that Emperor Palpatine is somehow going to be alive in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and here's my reasonings. The Sith are resilient survivors. Take a look at some of the biggest Sith enemies in the Star Wars films and think back on how many bounced back from some incredible injuries. There's Darth Maul, who managed to bounce back after getting cut in half. Anakin Skywalker, who pretty much lost almost all of his limbs, and he was burned badly. Even General Grievous somewhat counts, although he's not really a Sith, but he is somehow like an organic Sith cyborg. It's interesting, really. The whole point is that Sith hatred, for all of its downsides, seems to be some kind of superpower in that it fuels their will to survive. Few Sith hated or channeled the dark side as much as Palpatine, though, so it's hard to believe, even in his advanced age, that he was completely unable to bounce back from the Sith before him. Let's also remember he has only been thrown down a very large hole. Sure, there was an explosion towards the end that implied he collided with some energy source and was vaporized. But maybe that was some advanced illusion or tactic to protect his body. You never really know. Clearly, though, his plan had failed, so it makes sense he'd fake his own death and perhaps try again 30, 40 years later. Now, Sith can return by putting their essence within an object. This is a rather, recent development in the Sith lore, which, it comes to us in the courtesy of Marvel Comics and the Darth Vader comic books. Their readers learned of a character called Moman, a Sith who had unlocked some of the secrets behind returning from the death back to the world of the living as a Sith. Now, he does this, via his dark essence, which lingers in the helmet he wore when he was alive. There's also the case of, from the video game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Darth Nihilus. He had somehow, his whole body is lifeless. He's just some kind of vessel, basically. What keeps him alive is his mask. So if you remove his mask, he would pretty much just kind of vanish somewhat. But now, talking about Moman, though, through the helmet, Moman was able to possess the bodies of others who had donned it and live on through them. Now, it's also worth noting that Moman discovered a way to open the door to the ethereal plane, which Vader used in an attempt to bring Padme back to life. Now, Vader was ultimately unsuccessful, although Moman used the door to the dark side to bring his original body back to the land of the living. Now, this new, Star Wars story isn't just important because it shows Siths returning from the dead, but also because it establishes that Moman's studies were known of by Palpatine. But now, after he was killed by Vader, Moman's mask was stored on Darth Sidious Palpatine, his private yacht. So the Emperor may have studied Moman's methods and worked out a way to achieve a similar artifact with his essence, just in case, the unfortunate what happened to him. And of course, the only kind of downside to this is if Palpatine was somehow able to put his essence in an object, then that means somebody else would have to don whatever it was, and then he could come back as them. Another interesting, theory here is that Palpatine has a clone plan. Okay, so we know that Disney isn't about to open up, a whole new can of worms here of making all parts of the former Star Wars universe canon, but there has been some things that have returned. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, Emperor Palpatine had a cloning facility explicitly built for the purpose of transferring his essence into a new body should he be killed. The Emperor was successfully transferred over to clones, although his immense power meant he had a tendency to burn through their bodies rather quickly. So it really wasn't ideal, but it allowed him to keep on living, indefinitely, which he then used to attempt to regain his former power. But now, these are just some of the ways that Palpatine can return. And while something like a Force ghost, flashbacks, holocrons, recordings are a possibility, it would be so much cooler to see him return in the flesh. Would Rey be able to stand against such a powerful Sith Lord in battle? What about Kylo Ren? I really don't have the answers, but it'd be cool to see a battle between the three of them to find out. And of course, those with other ideas on how Palpatine will return can drop it in the comments and tell me how you think he might return. It's pretty interesting because if he is alive, you'd have to think he's been hiding out for so long. I guess just to wait for the right opportunity. There's other crazy theories that he is somehow he was tied to Snook, but that'd be a whole other video, everybody. But these are just some of the ways that I think Palpatine could be alive. There's so many other ideas and theories out there, man. It's pretty cool. But if you have any that you might think, let me know. And if you want, drop the video a like. It means a lot. This is Sith Lord 7, and I'll see you guys later.